Hi everybody, Azid here. So in this video, we're going back to some basics of buy-to-let or some of the property strategies. So here we're going to talk about buy-to-let and what it is. So buy-to-let, as the word says, is buying a property to let it out. And the idea is you're going to generate some profit by doing that. How does that happen? So let's take a typical house worth of £100,000. You will need £25,000 deposit or 25% of the purchase price to be able to buy the house. The other 75% you leverage or you borrow from banks. The idea is that the 75% will cost you, let's say, typically let's say you borrow 100,000 and the mortgage is somewhere around 250, 300 pounds a month. If your rent is something around 700 to 800 pounds, that means you're giving yourself a margin of or a profit margin of around 400 to 500 pounds per month. Typically, depending on where you are in the country, a buy-to-let should yield you between £400 to £500 per month. Now, that sounds great, but don't forget you will have invested capital in this. So the idea is that, making say £500 times 12 is 6 grand a year, and if you've put 25 grand of deposit, let's say another £5,000 of legals, stamp duty, etc. So you're making 5% return on your money. So not 5%, 10% will be 3,000. You're making 20% return on your money. Apologies. So as you can see, if you're getting those kind of figures, it's pretty good. 20% return. If you put that same £100,000 in the bank today, you will make virtually nothing. You'll probably make £100 a year. So 6 grand a year is tremendously more profitable. So that's buy-to-let. Who is it open to? So anybody can buy a buy-to-let as long as you've got some finance behind you and some deposit behind you, so that you're able to source and get a mortgage, plus also use that savings or family money to use as deposit. Is it hard? Well, like any business, this is the key here. Property investment is still a business. You're still running a business. The customer is the tenant. And I think we sometimes forget that running a property business is just that. It's a business. So is it hard? Yes, there are some moments that are a bit stressful, where a boiler breaks, you need to know how to fix it, or get a plumber to come out fix it. You need to have those people on tap. The electric or the fuse blows, you need to get an electrician. So these are moments where it can be a little bit stressful, but there are some mitigating ways that I can talk about. If you look at some of my other videos, how I talk about to be able to mitigate that risk. Is it worth it? Absolutely, because 23 years on, I think I would not be in a position where I'm at now without those passive income being generated. But more importantly, and this is the best thing about property investment, is the property are going up in value every year on year, and on average, every 10 years, those properties would have grown and doubled in value. So this particular property, for instance, from 100,000 would have doubled to about 200,000. There are some moments that the growth is faster. Recently with COVID, there's been some massive surge and increase in demand. Prices have rocketed, and your price growth has completely outstripped its usual trend. But again, that's not every year, but on average, again, the other thing to say about property investment, like shares, like everything else, it is a really long-term investment. You're getting passive income through rent, but the underlying asset is growing, but you've got to take a long-term view. What I mean by long-term view, the longer the better. A 10-year is your probably bare minimum that you've got to get into this, thinking that, in 10 years' time, it's going to be worth the hassle that you're putting through. 20 years, so much more, because then imagine the 100,000 becomes 200,000 in 10 years. And then in 20 years, it's gone from 200,000 to 400,000. So you've had a 4 times increase in your investment. So in 20 years' time, you could sell it, pay off the 100 or 75 grand. You've got £325,000 potentially in profit. But there's better ways of mitigating your tax. You can actually draw down and refinance, pull most of your money out, and you don't pay anywhere near as a tax that you would if you had to pay and sell it. Like capital gains tax and income tax, etc. So hope that helps. If you are looking for more information, follow me on social media, YouTube, LinkedIn, Instagram, TikTok, and you will see all my videos there, or a lot of my free content. So my name is Azid. I've been doing this for 23 years, and I welcome you to come and join me.